Your commentary team of Phil, John Keir, Steve-O, and again they're led by Rod Studd.
Thanks, Brian. A big ask and a big task ahead of the Salford Red Devils in the next 40 minutes. Can they turn it around and snap that sequence of results that Brian Carney was alluding to? They haven't won in any of their previous 16 visits to Wigan, be it the DW here or Central Park up the road. Miserable run of results. Before they lost to Leeds last week, Salford had won their previous 3 games. They look to be coming into a little bit of a form. That's not the way to get into form at the start of a second half, though, is it? Well, immediate error by Salford in the first half.
Unbelievable. It was a huge problem in the first stanza, and now the juggernaut Bateman got the big hit in, and maybe there might have been a hand in there. Either way, they put themselves under enormous pressure.
When we get there, heads in.
Well, they are, because Wigan's starting a set 20 metres out, already 16-0 in front and sniffing more. Sarginson. Well, 2 men came across to knock him down. It was an important tackle too, as they threatened another try. Here's Manfredi. Free scoring this season in the opportunities he's had. Already a dozen Super League tries to his name. Williams to Farrell. Farrell is running behind Manfredi, who gets his arms up in the air and says, nothing to do with me, Gov. Play on. Is the call from Phil Bentham.
He got away with that, and Phil Bentham says, yeah, carry on. Let's forget about the obstructions.
And the band plays on, literally and metaphorically, as John Bateman moves to within 3 or 4 metres. Anthony Gelling comes in at acting halfback for the Wigan Warriors. Moves to this right flank. He may score himself, Gelling! And he's biased into touch, manhandled into touch, but could he possibly have contrived to have got the ball down in that melee of bodies? Phil Bentham's not sure. The video ref will adjudicate.
Well, there's probably 2 things to look at. Is he in touch before he gets the ball down? He's certainly got control of the ball, and I don't think he's anywhere near touch. That's a good try. We'll just check from behind just to make sure that nothing's near touch that they can't see. And he's not. Everything's in the air and the ball's down well before he goes over.
That is a tremendous strike. And surely it'll be TRY come up on the big screen and listen to the roar.
That's a try. That's magic from Anthony Gelling. A conjuring act that any magician would have been proud of. Fantastic bit of dexterity to get that ball down in the corner.
Certainly was, and this is the big reason why all these professional players, they do real upper body strength, a lot of work with weights, and this is the reason why he can get away with it. They'll be disappointed with the Salford players to allow him to go on an arc like that. But that just shows you the determination, the quality, and the wherewithal to get it down. Outstanding.
Yeah, you'd be a bit surprised, really, with the initial decision. There's 3 Salford defenders against 1 Wigan attacker, but Gelling just took all the responsibility himself and obviously came up trumps.
Matty Smith looking to turn Gelling's 4 into half a dozen. Stroked it superbly, knocks it over. Wigan 22-0. Let's get down to the sideline, get the half-time chit-chat from Graham Beecroft. Graham.
Thank you very much indeed, Rod. Well, Wigan pretty pleased, as you can imagine, with Sean Wayne. Really pleased with the defending and with the completion rate. Very happy about that. He said we just cut 1 or 2 errors out and we'll be all right. And they certainly started that way in the second half. I can tell you that Euston Harris literally peeled the paint off the walls with his half-time team talk, which ended well before the second half was due to start. He said to me, we had 40 minutes off. That's all. We had 40 minutes off.
Thanks, Graham. Euston Harris peeling the paint off the walls. You need any redecorating done at your gaff, Steve-O?
Okay, go, yeah.
Maybe going to do a job for you, maybe wallpaper there. 22-0 Wigan, and all is well in Wayne's world once more after that torrid affair last Sunday at Bradford, when Wigan were upset by relegated Bradford Bulls. Liam Farrell, well, now it'll be interesting to see how this pans out, because Wigan will want to put the cleaners through Salford here. They really are up for it tonight. Some lovely handling down that left-hand side. Manfredi trying to stay on the island, ball bouncing around, it's gone forward.
That'll be a knock-on anyway, but it was forward in the instant, so.
But just showing what they want to put on now. They'll feel that the game is just about in the pocket if they can start to play a little bit more expansively. And I'll tell you what, Steve-O, at the top of the table, there's half a dozen points separating 6 teams, and the points difference at the end could be pivotal, couldn't it?
Yep. Yeah, it always is when it comes to the crunch time, and it certainly is. And I think that the Salford players, you know, when you came up with that error, so many in the first half, and then as soon as they kicked off, they just spilled the ball, and you could see the Salford players, their heads just went down.
We're going to pick them up again. They've got 4 more games to go after this. As I mentioned, after tonight, they're more than likely going to be 5 points off the top 8 at the end of the weekend. That's a lot to make up, but if they do pick up the full 8 points, the full Monty from their final 4 games, they would still have just about a squeak. Just about a squeak. Ashurst takes the ball forward here.
It's all about pride now for Salford. Try to get that scoreboard clicking. It's not going to be easy. That looked a bit high.
Not only did it look high, Steve-O, it was high, and it is a penalty to Salford, which they tried to take quickly.
Yeah, Dutson right over the top. The first impact was on the ball, but it's where you finish that counts.
A couple of penalties on the spin for Salford. I'm sure they'll look back, whatever the full-time score is, that they were 6-0 down when Sow broke through in the first half and had a try on a plate for 2 or 3 supporting runners and went himself. Chance went away, Wigan went up the other end and scored, and well, ever since then it's all unravelled for the
that's got to be a penalty.
Yeah, it should be. Dudson leaving his leg lingering in the tackle area, in the ruck area. Hansen keeps his hands on the ball. He did well there because he was under a lot of pressure from 2 Wigan defenders. He felt he was being manhandled illegally. They might have had a penalty on a second occasion there. Chase, always dangerous to Fars. Fars offloads. They've dropped it again.
Yeah, it was a panic pass as well. He thought he was on his way. It was Theo Farge, but good defence. Disappointment etched on the face of Justin Harris.
There's a poor decision to pass here. It was a very difficult skill to execute under that pressure from the Wigan defence.
Do you not think the pass is on, John? I know it doesn't find the man, but Ash just ends up over the try line. Wouldn't you throw that pass? It's pretty hard to score against Wigan tonight.
It is hard to score against Wigan, I agree, but also the number of errors that Salford are coming up with. I mean, it's becoming ridiculous, really. They need to just look after the football, starve Wigan of possession if possible. You've already indicated, Phil, when Wigan dominate possession, Wigan dominate the scoreboard.
Well, Justin Harris is 17th in game in charge of Salford. Brian Noble sacked after just 8 games in charge this season. Harris 5 wins, a draw and 10 losses in his previous 16. The losses column is going to go up by 1 tonight unless they can produce a miracle comeback here at the DW Stadium. With Rangi chasing the team, well, you never know what is possible. Even the impossible sometimes becomes possible with Chase the ace, direct to the traffic, but even he is going to struggle to conjure up 4 tries from here.
Yeah, he's got to come with some pretty good magic, Rod, when they're down 22-0. Especially with the way that Sean Wayne made it quite clear he was very, very happy with their defence.
And the doctor, the owner of the Salford Red Devils, already building for next season. He's already recruiting. We know that Dobson's coming in from Australia to direct the traffic and maybe rein Rangi Chase in a little bit. And no doubt there will be other signings too as Dr. Kukash continues to splash the cash in pursuit of success.
Well, he's certainly shown he's not shy in that department, and he's got to wait until they all get back over the 22 line. And I must say that the Salford players looked a little bit lethargic there.
Well, there's been a lot of basic errors, and that's not the first of them. Not even playing the ball correctly from a 20-metre restart doesn't really set the pulse racing.
No, and a couple of looks like they got it. Attack to the head. Well, this will be scant relief.
High tackle here.
They just seem to have lost the confidence. You can see there that Matty Smith just right into the neck eventually. Yep.
We mentioned that Kevin Locke is out injured tonight. They're also missing, of course, Gareth Hock with a high-profile suspension for running into referee, and he'll be suspended for the whole of the regular season. The 7-game ban taking this right to the end of the season. It looks as though Hock may have done his last shift for the season because of Salford's perilous position in regards to the playoffs.
Surrender!
Chase is taken to ground.
You know, Wigan's done a good fine job, haven't they, on Rangi Chase. You look at this Salford outfit and you say to yourself, is there anybody in that jumper has put real pressure on this Wigan defence? And you'd have to say that only Theo Farge has done that.
Well, you just feel that Wigan are manhandling Salford, to tell you the truth. They're just dominating them completely physically, with and without the ball.
Indeed. Junior South, the biggest of the Salford back division, couldn't find his way through there. Rangi Chase trying to step, in the end, well, tackled himself, to be quite honest, as he tripped himself up on the 20-metre line, trying to pull a rabbit out of the hat. Farge goes to the air. It looks too long. It is too long, as Manfredi plucks it out of the air like taking an apple off the tree.
Yep. You talk about confidence, and Manfredi, the winger, certainly took that.
But he had to be challenged, didn't he? And the Salford chasers were about 2 steps behind where they needed to be. Either the kick didn't go high enough or they didn't run fast enough. But you have to challenge. There's very little between the top and the bottom in this league. But the top sides would convert that potentially into a try or force an error from the Wigan catcher.
Wigan have got to go to Hull KR and to witness. They'll then be at home to Leeds and Warrington in their final couple of fixtures. And looking to get into that top 2, which is advantageous when it comes to the playoffs. And there's a long punt downfield by Powell. It's straight down the throat of Griffin. Sow comes to this near wing to give him a little bit more running room, trying to drag a defender out to him, which was Josh Charnley.
Again, a very solid wall of defence. And what they could not do in the first half, Salford is struggling again. This time they have got into the Wigan half, so at least they should get into a good position to at least put a set move on.
No sign of Joel Tompkins yet for the Wigan Warriors. One would think that Sean Wayne would want to introduce him, particularly if he believes the match is won, perhaps in the final 15 minutes. He's prowling the touchline. Itching to get back into the fray for his first game of rugby league for almost 3 years. There's Logan Tompkins out for Salford. High bomb, Rangi Chase into no man's land. Knock on by Salford is how I saw it. And that's exactly how Phil Bentham saw it.
That'll be the turnover.
Indeed.
And you can see the frustration throughout all these Salford players. They're just reverting to the kick as any opportunity to try to get points on the board. That's how effective this Wigan defence has been. They've worked hard, and they really were talking to each other this game. It wasn't on display last week, was it?
Well, Salford just can't generate any speed at the play of the ball, and consequently everything looks very laboured. But that's down to tremendous contact by the Wigan defenders, and some great work in the tackle as well.
Jordan James carting the ball up, former Salford man amongst his many clubs, Jordan James, to be fair. There's some flowing football here from Wigan, and Matty Bowen bowling away for the Warriors over the 20-metre line. What support, travelling across the field, looking for white shirts to come and back him up. There was no one there for Matty Bowen, who burst the line once more. He scored the first try of the night. He was looking for another. Little grubber forward from Bateman is a tame and lame end to a set that promised much after the Bowen break.
Yeah, it deserved a try, wasn't it? It was a double run around. You don't often see that, but the fullback did it perfectly. Not the best kick through.
A real disappointed end, wasn't it, after a tremendous break by Matty Bowen, and as we're seeing once again, total dominance by the Wigan defenders.
Matty Bowen's going to say, Steve, leads Wigan's stats for tackle busts. That's his 84th, and he's third on the list in Super League. Clark at Castleford and Escarret at Catalan ahead of him.
Yeah, and you'd have to say that Sean Wayne would have a little word with John Bateman and say, you know, why on earth were you there to put that little kick in? You're there to do a certain thing. We've got kickers out there. He leaves nothing to chance. Good opportunity.
A great pass it was from Rangi Chase. It's then, steer there. Well, Logan Tompkins comes off the bench and is making the same errors as the 13 that are on the field to the start of the match. Had he picked that up, you know, there was chances on there.
Well, I'm not so sure that it was in an offside position. I think he was well in front. There's a kick, and look where he appears.
Well, there's nothing there from Phil Bentham, who's right on the spot there. I think he may well have been offside, but he certainly wouldn't have been blown as such.
No. And again, we see the dominance from Wigan.
No, he's speedy. He's out of the traps on time.
Well, he might have been factually in front, but the kicker got in front of him, which played him onside.
I think We're about to see the arrival of Joel Tompkins back into Super League action in a moment or two after the stint in rugby union with Saracens. Gelling trying to get away from two tacklers, and there he is, Joel Tompkins coming back to a rousing reception. Joel Tompkins, one of the trio of Tompkins brothers, but all he's going to do here is watch. He's going to watch Matty Smith goes through, but Phil Bentham is going to say there's a possible obstruction there, and it'll need a video ref decision.
Well, we haven't seen one for a while, so sit back and let's see what occurs.
Well, there's a block right behind where the runner's gone through. There's a clear obstruction there. I don't think the video referees will take too long with this one. This is an obstruction, should be no try.
Well, for once, Stuart, I'm having to agree with you. There's certainly a block there.
Well, it's the reason why Matty Smith has so much space to go through. The defender's been blocked from moving across.
That was a simple decision for video referee Ben Thaler. Phil Bentham, the man in the middle, handing it upstairs. So Matty Smith has not scored his 6th try of the season in all competitions for the Wigan Warriors, not yet anyway.
Now, Phil Bentham saw that straight away. I felt if you wouldn't have had the video referee, he'd have blown that one. He read it straight away, immediately questioned the crossing, the obstruction, and as our pictures show, it was proved right.
Adrian Morley has now dropped the ball for Salford. The 37-year-old veteran of many a campaign. Played with his coach back at the Leeds Rhinos in the first grand final in '98. Played with Justin Harris, and he spilled the ball there. Big Adrian Morley. Another handling error to put in the column for Salford. It's not going to make very pretty reading in review, this match, for the Salford Red Devils players.
It's a nightmare, and Justin Harris knows it, and Adrian Morley, the captain, knows it too.
Heads in, boys.
They've been dominated by this Wigan outfit. It's been a classic performance, especially from the centre, Anthony Gelling.
There is Tompkins, Joel Tompkins, his first carry forward. He signed back in June, but persistent back injuries meant he hasn't been able to make his second debut for the Wigan Warriors. His first was back in 2005. And he's welcome back, playing against his younger brother Logan, and no doubt his other sibling Sam is watching from New Zealand.
Good tackle there by Rangichage. It had to be on the big fella.
Matty Smith is flattened by Chase illegally.
Well, Chase is saying he never touched his head. Not quite sure. Yeah, certainly did. Not once, but twice.
That's a penalty in anybody's book apart from Ranky Chase's, and they take a quick tap, the Wigan Warriors. Jordan James runs into Pulatua, who takes him to ground. George Williams comes in at dummy half, and Wigan are going to get their 5th try of the night from this passage of players. They put on a move here. Well, it's flipped on by Bowen. I think it was knocked on prior to that, and Josh Charlie has not got his 2nd try of the night.
Trying to convince the touch judge on this near side that it was touched by a Salford player, but it's definitely a knock-on. A little bit tight there. Could have been an obstruction as well. But it's no try, for sure.
Okay, boys.
Well, Joel Tompkins has plenty of medals from his first spell at Wigan. He'll be looking to get another one here from his 2nd spell this year in the grand final. He, of course, scored that wonderful Wembley try in the Challenge Cup final when he romped virtually the whole length of the field against Leeds.
Well, he hasn't played a game of rugby, has he, for 5 months. That was for Saracens. But last November was good enough to get fit for England and play at Twickenham in the rugby union side. And he's one of the best athletes, I believe. I'm told that when he came back to the club, they have a power endurance test that they do on the players at Wigan. And when he recovered from his back injury, he actually came out with the highest score. There was probably the fittest player in the club and one of the best athletes playing rugby.
Phil, it's often mentioned, isn't it, the difficulty of adapting to rugby union for rugby league players going to the 15-a-side code. How difficult do you think it will be to adapt back again for the game he hasn't played for 3 years or so?
I don't think it will be as hard, really, because he played it from a very early age. He's familiar. The way when he last played at Wigan, they played very similar to how they do now. Michael Maguire brought over the template, and they still continue to be successful with that template. He was used to playing both at centre and 2nd row. He's had the versatility, the flexibility with different roles within the Wigan squad. and I'm sure that when he gets his timing, he'll be again one of the best players in the Super League.
I agree, Phil. It's in his veins, isn't it? Simple as that. You brought up on rugby league. Doesn't matter what sport you go to. It never leaves you. It'll take him a while.
Go 2.
Maybe 2 or 3 games to get back to his past best.
Well, he might be even better. Because, you know, he may have learned tricks and skills playing rugby union down at Saracens, a very well organised and successful club that will help him and Wigan in the future.
Here's Liam Farrell now, taking Wigan to the 20-metre line once more as they hunt more tries. They're hungry for more. They want more points. They want more tries. Matty Smith kicks through. Evans does well to field. Now he's done ever so well to come out of 2 or 3 tackles. Look at the boy go! Now Evans is going down the sideline. Josh Charnley hunting him down. He brings him down. Well, I tell you what, had he gone the length there, that would have been the try to end all tries. It would have been the try of the season by a country mile. As it is, he's taken down 40 metres out.
That's going to be a penalty for Salford. But you're right, Rod. Evans is such a talent. But I tell you what, when he made that break, there was one Josh Charnley saying to himself, I'm not going to let this guy get away from me. He's not going to say to me that I'm the fastest on the field of play. And he got to him. It was brilliant by the fullback Evans.
Well, he's
in and out,
forward,
but you just watch Charnley. Determination. You're not getting anywhere, son.
John Kyril, no, from his days on the wing, no. It is a disadvantage running with the ball, isn't it? The chaser usually has the advantage.
It certainly isn't, but my word, what great pace that Charnley showed there, because he'd got a fair start to him, and it was tremendous work to get out of the in-goal area in the first place. But Charnley, great pace.
We've got a penalty here. Salford. Wigan believed that the ball was just spilt. It wasn't. And Phil Bentham now. Oh, hello. He's going to have a go and have a chat with the touch judge who wants to come in for the other side. George Stokes wants to have a word. What's happening here?
I think George Stokes has said that he released the ball after the tackle. It wasn't stolen, so this will probably be a play of the ball.
It's an offload, not a penalty. It's Wigan ball, tackle 1.
Well,
Tackle 1.
who says that referees don't change their mind?
Back up.
An urban myth. Harris cannot believe it.
Wait.
Let's have a look. Well,
Oh, there was an arm in there.
He said it was an offload, though, by Tommy Lee trying to flick the ball backwards. You don't think it was?
It was a direct flip out. They've got away with it.
well, we could debate it long into the night and certainly for the next 20 minutes, but the reality is Wigan are playing on and they've already moved it towards the 20-metre line. They've got the break there. It is a break. And maybe you'd say, the way they've dominated the game, that sometimes you get the odd break that you deserve from the play. It's just the way that it happens in team sport, it seems. If you're having a bad night and things are going against you, everything goes against you.
Yeah, spot on. But I've been very impressed with Wigan. Their total control, the work with the forwards, the kicking game has been good. And the chase is pretty decent too. Look at that.
Josh Griffin, hot stepping forward. He's done well since he's coming to the team. Scored 3 tries, kicked some goals as well. He's looked good. Well, we're going on a Thursday night. South of France on a Friday night. Catalan Dragons against the Warrington Wolves. We're on air 7:30 p.m. on Sky Sports 1 tomorrow evening. Very important game for both sides. Catalan trying to cement their position in the playoffs, and Warrington will after 2 upset defeats to Wakefield and Widnes, looking to get the ship sailing again. Rangi Chase trying to do that for Salford. Good offload to Hansen, who's taken down brilliantly by Williams. Good tackle that. And now Farge, and now Chase. And now Chase spinning out a pass to Sow, and Sow is wrestled to the ground by Matty Smith and Josh Charnley. This will be the final tackle.
And watch this Wigan outfit. Put the pressure.
Chipped by Chase. Oh, he's unlucky with the bounce. He is. Oh, hello. No, he can't possibly have got that down. He is unlucky there, Josh Griffin, because it was a wonderfully conjured kick from Rangi Chase.
It certainly was, and I think he does get a fingertip to it, but it looks as though it's on the whitewash. And I think Josh Griffin is fully aware of that as well.
Well, looking at the kick first, he's clearly onside. I don't think there's any doubt as to whether he gets to the ball or not. It's whether he's got the ball down inside the line. That'll be the key. And he will get the answer. He certainly gets his hand on the ball. Can he get it down inside the line? He can't touch the line at all. If he touches the line, that's a try.
Well, that is a miracle. That's not a try, that is a miracle.
Unbelievable.
The corner flag does not count now. He can touch the corner flag as long as it doesn't touch the line. So he's used it to his advantage, and that's a try. That's a great effort.
Isn't that amazing? The super zoom shows very clear indeed. Well, they've got on the board of Salford. The Rangichase kick, finished by the winger.
Simply staggering. Simply staggering. How on earth he got that ball down in the corner. Matty Bowen seemed to have every angle covered. But a matter of millimetres. And Josh Griffin has scored 4 in 4 games.
Tremendous kick, wasn't it? And this is just reward this for just not giving up on a play. It just hung in there, Josh Griffin. And he was confident. You can see from his reactions after his ground at the ball. He was confident it was a legal try, and it was. And well done to him for just keeping working, not giving up on it. And as Steve-O said, it looked as if Bowen had got everything covered.
I think he learned much from a spell at Batley, John, didn't he?
Yes, I agree with you, Rod.
Well, Griffin has, as we mentioned, not only scored tries in this spell in the side for Salford, he kicked goals as well. Not going to add one there, though. It's not far away. It wasn't the easiest of kicks, but he's missed. Well, they're back within 3 converted tries at 22-4.
I suppose the last time they played Wigan, it took them to, what, the 79th minute to score a try. They've got one more here tonight. I think a test and measure of how much they improve in the second half of the season is if they can get a second. There's a confirmation that it's inside that sideline and a try. Has Salford good enough to score 2 tries against Wigan? They've got, what, about 15 minutes still to go?
Time off.
Well, he knows and he realises that it's a hopeless case.
Yeah, but the season's not hopeless.
No, I know that.
For Salford.
They knew they had to come here and win. It was going to be very difficult indeed, especially for the fact that Wigan, they lost last week against Bradford. It was a huge shock, and as we've already said, Sean Wayne, their coach, couldn't sleep for 2 nights. He'll sleep well tonight.
Penalty here against Liam Farrell. Oh, it's all getting a bit fruity out there. Adrian Morley leading the charge for the Salford Red Devils. Wigan, well, they're 3 converted tries in front, but still getting a bit feisty. Oh, there's a knee. It's a knee that's flown in, and now the ball flies in. No wonder Liam Farrell took exception.
Yeah, he didn't like it.
Well, you wouldn't, would you?
No, there's every right to feel that way. Well, they've got to just calm down a little bit now of Wigan. They know they've got this game wrapped up. The last thing they want to do is just lose concentration, lose their cool.
Logan Tompkins in at dummy half. Fage, who sports that headgear now after being knocked out in an absolutely horrible challenge by Julien Busquet early in the season. Little chip through. Well, that's a waste. That really is a waste.
Yeah, not the best. Tompkins the opportunity, and he wanted it to just keep in the field of play, but you can see misdirected.
Yeah, I think you could see what he was attempting to do. You know, they had a bit of Joe, the short side kick earlier, and that was on because Bowen was patrolling well behind the big side of the defensive line, but it was just that execution.
And it just shows you the superiority that we've seen from the Wigan defence, is that any opportunity throughout this game, Salford have been left with no option but to put the kick in. They scored their first try and their only try from the kick, and they're just finding it very difficult to get past them.
Well, and that break from Junior Sal came from a kick when Greg Johnson found the ball back, so good point.
Well, another penalty at scrum time for Wigan. That's 2 of those in the match for Sean O'Loughlin and his crew.
I think that's unforgivable naivety for a team to get caught doing that twice in a game.
On the line, boys.
They're on autopilot and aren't concentrating on thinking about what their opponents might do, just expecting the ball to roll out the back of the scrum, and they run forward and try and make a tackle.
And one day, Phil, one day we might see a hooker actually strike for the ball.
Farrell thought he'd been impeded, he hadn't. His play on Sargentson doing just that and stretched his legs, almost went through, and he had Manfredi outside him. It could have been try time for the Wigan Warriors. Manfredi goes himself here. Fage and Ashurst take him down, but they're within 25 metres now of the Salford line for what would finally finish it off. 3 converted tries in it at the moment. The flickering flame still burning for Salford just about, but only just, as Flower turns up the power and runs into Pulatua and Tompkins.
Kick to the corner, surely. Oh, it's a drop goal.
He's dropped a goal. He's dropped a field goal.
You beauty.
Matty Smith turns 18 into 19.
He did exactly the same, didn't he, at Salford, about the same point in the match?
He did. He did. Well, they won 25-4 in the end.
It's probably pretty good practice for him to get to the playoffs, and they need to put on that play, and just confirms, isn't it?
It's smart though, Phil, isn't it? I mean, we're asking, can they score 3 converted tries? Well, now it's 4. So, but a play from Matty Smith.
Yeah, quick thinking. He's got a wonderful rugby league brain, as this fella, Matty Smith. And it's just putting another knife in the back of the Salford side.
Well, Matty Smith made 76 appearances in his time at Salford.
And he's controlled it, Ron. He really has been superior out there. He's been talking non-stop. And you talk about the problems that Salford have had in, you know, maybe a few of the players not getting into the defensive scene. Theo Fage, the little halfback, 33 tackles. You cannot expect a halfback to go through all that and expect your side to win.
Here's Williams, George Williams looking for an offload. Is anyone at home? No, he knocks at the door, no one answered. Just anyone on his shoulder there would have been looking to put some points on the board. Like this man, like Bowen to Gelling. Anthony Gelling rolls in for another. And Gelling, a try-treble, a hat-trick for Gelling. And Wigan now really are home and dry.
Tremendous stuff. And what a night for this centre, Anthony Gelling. Not only has he scored a hat-trick, he's got through some tremendous work in defence. He's taken the ball up, he's created a lot of space, and this is a beautiful inside pass from Bowen. And as we didn't see from Junius Howe early in the game, Matty Smith did offload, and then Bowen did, and Gelling in for the hat-trick. He'll remember that for quite some time.
He has an outstanding game, hasn't he, Gelling? But I put that in part down as well to George Williams' half-break. He made the half-break, played the ball very quickly. The Salford defensive line wasn't reset. They played the inside ball, and that's where the space was, and through they went. Real quality team try there from the Warriors.
Gelling notches his first hat-trick for the Wigan Warriors. Taking his try tally for the Super League season into double figures this evening. So Smith looking to add another 2. If he's successful, it'll be 29 points to 4. 25-4 when they met earlier on in the season at the AJ Bell Stadium in May. So the margin is bigger and growing, and there's still time for them to add some more. Can Smith add 2 more? Indeed he can. And Wigan leads Salford 29 points to 4 on a memorable night for Anthony Gelling.
Yeah, sheer quality from this fella. He really has put himself about. That was the first one. They just held off. And how on earth did he get this down? Remarkable. And then good support play. Fully deserved. Raise the arm in salute to these wonderful Wigan fans.
Aside, fellows.
It's been a good night.
Okay.
It hasn't been for this fella.
No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. A miserable night for Iestyn Harris and Salford. And they have said the way that he's taken the Wigan systems to the AJ Bell Stadium that Salford and Wigan liked.
Ron, you mentioned early in the game that, you know, the points difference could hold the key. It's pretty tight at the top there. And you look at the situation, and I'm sure that Sean Wayne will be saying, we want more points.
Well, Wigan at the moment are the only team in the 700s in the points for column, and the 29 they scored tonight take them to 749. There could be some more here. Williams goes romping through. Is there any support? He's looking for Charlie on this right wing. He might not need anybody. He won't need anybody. What a try that is. What a try that is from George Williams. He just walks through. He was looking for support, and then he thought, hang on a minute, I'll score myself. And Williams has put Wigan further clear.
They keep producing them. And he's had a fine game as well as George Williams. His combination in the half-back with Matty Smith has been instrumental. But this is quality, isn't it? He came on the angle, took the break. Inside, outside. I'll do it again. Nobody there. He just absolutely confused them. What an individual quality try.
It was tremendous. What we say most half-backs are just passers. This kid isn't a passer. He takes the line on. He did it for the early try, got the quick play of the ball, and then this is absolutely sensational individual try. Hit the gap and just went through the gap, took the full-back on, took everybody on. And doesn't it please Sean Wayne?
Well, it looks like a combination to a young Sean Edwards and a young Andy Gregory to me. A Wigan half-back, born and raised in the town, who really has got pace, rugby knowledge. He's competitive like both of those younger Edwards and Gregory players were when they started playing, and he's just shown the speed there to convert a fantastic try.
Well, he's just signed off the dotted line again at Wigan. On a new 4-year deal, he's only 19, and well, you can see why they want to tie him down for a lengthy period. Matty Smith only missed once tonight. He's kicked a field goal to add to the 4 conversions also, so this would take him to 11 points for the evening. He had a try disallowed for obstruction as well, the Wigan half, and he strokes that one over. So Wigan move to 35. It's 35 points to 4. 8 minutes left at the DW Stadium.
And I just get the impression, Rob, that Wigan will be looking for even more points. But what an effort from this youngster. Came on the angle, in and out. He had them totally confused. And when they didn't go low, they just patted him. He said, I'll have 4 myself. Great talent.
Well, he fired himself into the gap like a back rower, didn't he? It was tremendous. It was a great line, and his timing. Real quality try.
Knock on by Wigan. Play on. 0.
That's a knock on by Wigan. It was the call by Phil Bentham, so it'll be a double knock on, and Salford will get the scrum feed.
He's got it right, as Phil Bentham.
Well,
see quite clearly the Anthony Gellin.
He's not got much from tonight, Steve, has he? But he knocked that one on.
Yeah, but he puts himself about. This is what I've been so interested in the way that he's developed. Each game, he gains more and more confidence. He's had a fine match tonight as Gellin.
Yestin Harris has not had a fine match. He looks like a man who's back to winner to see it disqualified off his short inquiry. Here's going to be another try. Tony Clubb backs down.
He'll go upstairs perhaps. Or is he going to give it?
He gives it. Well, Tony Clubb is now playing in the front row. He made his name as a centre, but he went on a rumbling, rampaging run after the football there. He outpaced the Salford cover and had the simplest task of just dotting down over the try line. He can't believe his luck. How's your luck, Tony? His 6th try of the season.
Well, it certainly is a great effort. It was a real mismatch here, wasn't it? Shocking pass. They couldn't put it in. The kick through. Fars was pushed out of the way, but it was shoulder to shoulder, and there's nowhere else to go.
Well, it was a set play, wasn't it, Steve, from a scrum, and really poorly executed there. Ball hit the deck. Greg Johnson couldn't recover it, and Tony Clubb, well, I think he played for Wigan Athletic with that, because it was just the correct weighting and the simplest of try there, just to ground the ball, and they're having the ball up there.
Have they ever? And you've got to say to yourself that he started in the
Steve-O. He's run out of gas. That was it.
Well, listen, when you start your career as a 3-quarter in the centres, and then you finish up as a prop forward tonight, you just say to yourself, I've got nowhere else to go. This is me.
That's it. Bring the oxygen. Have a lie down, Tony. That's it. Tony Clubb getting his 6th try of the season. The kick was perfection. It just drifted over the try line, just sat up and begged and said, touch me down. 4 points. Another 2 from Matty Smith. It's 41 points to 4 here, and it's turned into an absolute rout. It's the worst or heaviest defeat Salford have had under Yestin Harris by some margin.
And guess what happened? Another error, another drop ball. Opportunity. Nothing can do about it. He still has a bit of speed. He's put on a bit of bulk, but he goes, what do you think about that? And Sean Wayne said, I'll tell you what I think about it. You're having a rest, son.
Bowen fields the kickoff. James runs into Morley. Might not have been the best idea he's ever had.
He didn't take too kindly to it, did he, James? He thought that was slightly high. He had a little bit of a word to say to Mr. Morley.
Well, at the moment, Wigan are improving their points difference by 37 points, which will take them up to plus 396, which is far and away the best in the competition. So if it does come to a level situational competition points, Wigan hold the aces. Still a chance of finishing top, the Wigan Warriors. They'll close within a couple of points of St Helens with this win. Matty Smith, oh, a deft dab over the top. Oh, it's perfectly picked up by Matty Bowen. Oh, he throws a pass inside, which is wayward. Kicked back into play. They're still going. It's all the fun of the fair here as Williams goes to ground. Play on.
Beautiful set piece, though, between Matty Smith and the fullback.
My word, Dan Sargent, so what have you done?
He cannot believe it, the fullback Matty Bowen. The combination, though, between Matty Smith and the fullback is outstanding. He knew exactly what was happening. Wasn't the best inside pass, was it? A bit lackadaisical there, but...
Well, Scott Taylor overran it, didn't he? And then, well, it all went a bit wild after that. And Dan Sargent got the ball. It's been spilled again here by Salford. What are they doing out there? Well, they're lucky there's only 3 minutes left, otherwise you'd fancy Wigan to hoist the half-century here.
Yeah, and they're looking for it.
And Freedy
have to score twice, not many minutes left.
No, not now, but you fancy if there was 10 minutes left on the clock, that 50 would be a formality for the rampant Wigan Warriors now, as Scott Taylor drives it in. That's the second tackle in this sequence, and they're only 15 metres away from the try line. They've already scored 7 tries tonight, Wigan. They're looking for an 8th. Matty Smith going through for Wigan. Smith scores now. He had one chalked off before, and this one's going to be reviewed as well. This one's going to be reviewed as well, Stuart Cummings.
It is. They're looking for an obstruction. My first look at it, I didn't think there was. I think Matty Smith managed to change direction before anything else. There's nothing wrong with that. In he comes. I don't think there'll be a problem here. I think this will be a try.
Well, it's not classified as obstruction, because watch the man. He stops and offloads in the runaround, and that cannot be classified as obstruction.
No, there's no obstruction there. He was the man who actually passed the ball. Matty Smith just found the gap and gone through. That should be a try. Perhaps they're still not convinced, but it's all, the key is that man with the ball. He can't just disappear there. He hasn't blocked the man from coming across. He just didn't fill in. So, you know, Matty Smith's taking the advantage of going through the gap, and you know, I believe that should be a try.
I'm with you, Stuart. Let's see what Ben Thaler, Steve Ganson believes.
It's a try, and it's Wigan's 8th. It's Matty Smith's 6th of the season in all competitions. And it makes it 45 points to 4. 3 in the Super League, 3 in the Cup for a grinning, beaming Matty Smith. And they're dancing in the aisles at the DW Stadium, as well they might be, as Wigan moves second in the Super League table.
And boy, I bet Sean Wayne will be thinking, I've got to keep this guy in Cottonwall, because he has been the architect right the way through tonight. We know that Sean O'Loughlin is the official captain, but boy, he never stops talking to his players. He's always scheming. He's always looking for the opportunity. He's had a fine match yet again. So has his standoff partner, George Williams. This has been an impressive display from the Warriors tonight.
Good night with the boot also for Matty Smith. Just one miss up to press. Make that 2 misses up to press, as some good-natured booing emanates from the Wigan Terriers. Well, they would have to score a converted try in the final minute to go past 50.
It's a superb try, isn't it, from Smith there? There's no way that's obstruction, but there is some way that's pretty poor Salford tackling. And I'm sure Yessin has been very, very disappointed with some of the efforts there. It's a lot of grabbing and not much shoulder contact there. and a really good try. And Sean Wayne, he'll have just wanted a reaction after a poor performance and a poor result last week. Well, my word, he has got that reaction.
And the thing that's really made me full of delight on watching this Wigan outfit is that some of the runarounds have been utilised tonight. It's a lot of people call it old-fashioned, but I tell you what, John, it has worked so well tonight.
30 seconds left in the game. We're going to have to produce something spectacular from deep if they want to get to 50. Salford just hanging on to hear the final bell before they are counted out of here. It's been a real caning handed out by Wigan. They've dominated virtually from the start. Jordan James from the offload from Sean O'Loughlin. This is sensational handling. This is Scott Taylor. Taylor romping through the middle of the Salford defence before he's taken down. Final play. Final play of the match. Have they got something left in the locker here, the Warriors? Maybe something from Joel Tompkins. That would have been a fitting finale. That would have produced the fireworks. Sean Wayne is delighted. Everything is well in Wayne's world once more after that dismal defeat at Bradford last weekend. Tonight they have put the cleaners through the Salford Red Devils and dealt a hammer blow to Salford's hopes of featuring in the top 8 playoffs. But as far as Wigan are concerned, well, they have moved into second spot in the Super League tonight. At least for 24 hours they've moved above the Leeds Rhinos, who play Bradford tomorrow. An 8-try rout of Salford. Tony Clubb, Matty Smith, George Williams, Josh Charnley and Matty Bowen, and a hat-trick from Anthony Gelling. Let's see who the man of the match is. He's speaking to Graham Binkrock.
Well, it's Anthony Gelling, and Anthony is here with me. Many congratulations, Anthony. A hat-trick for you. You're first for Wigan. You must have been delighted with that.
Yeah, I was buzzing. It's come close a few times, but yeah, it's good to get the milestone.
And a great performance by the team overall.
Yeah, awesome. Awesome bounce back and great reaction from the boys last week. You know, we had a good hard look, and you know, I think last week was a good wake-up call at the right time of the year. So, yeah.
Fantastic effort, and the 3 tries that you got, which was your favourite?
I don't know. I like the first one. Yeah, get the ball rolling. Yeah.
Thank you very much indeed.
I just want to say a big hello to my nan at home as well. She's always up early to watch the games, and all the family out in Howican in the 274.
Thank you very much indeed. Matty Smith is here. Matty, eventually they gave you a try.
Yeah, finally got over there. No, I don't score too many, so it's nice when I get them. But it was a great performance by the boys tonight. We were under real, big pressure coming off the back of a tough defeat last week. So great performance by the boys. Really?
So was there a sense of nerves in the dressing room beforehand as much as anything else?
Yeah, there was. I mean, obviously Salford are a great side as well. They've proved that in the past, in the back end of the year, and we knew it was going to be a tough game tonight, especially starting off. But we're tough to beat at home here, and we were coming off the back of a big loss last week, and we needed a performance, and the boys did that tonight.
Some wonderful tries. It puts you within 2 points of St Helens, and you scored a number of points as well, which was important.
Yeah, our points difference good, but we know Saints need to slip up for us to get that League of Leaders shield. But we'll just keep our heads down, and I think if we perform like that, we won't go far wrong.
Thank you very much indeed, Matty. Adrian Morley joins us now. Well, Adrian, last week you played very well indeed. As far as this week is concerned, what was the story?
Well, we was way off. We've been playing particularly well. Even though we got beat last week, we competed very well, and a few wins before that. And today we were just, Wigan played on Sunday like we played on Sunday. They were just more aggressive, more enthusiastic than us, and they caught us on the hop. So once they get in a roll, very tough to beat, and they schooled us tonight. It was embarrassing at the end.
You missed a chance early on when Junior Sow might have passed. Would that have made a difference, or do you think it just wasn't going to be your night anyway?
No, I don't think so. I just think Wigan had the right attitude, and we was off today for one reason or another. So we need to regroup. It's going to be a long 2 week, but we just need to keep improving. Tonight was that wasn't the Salford of recent times.
Sure wasn't. Thanks very much indeed, Adrian. Sean Wayne joins us. Sean, you didn't get too much sleep. You admitted that after that defeat at Bradford. You'll sleep well tonight, won't you?
Oh yeah, I sleep well, Graham. I thought the lads, the way they bounced back today was outstanding. They're really honest. We still got a lot of players out, But these lads, what turned up today, they've been fantastic. The way they responded, very honestly, I'm so pleased to put them many points on Salford.
Sure, because you changed training, you weren't happy, everybody knew you weren't happy. What was the balance you had to strike with the young players between really having a go at them and making sure that their confidence wasn't destroyed?
I mean, I go to the senior players more than anybody else because I expect a certain level of performance from them, and I did that. People like Lockers and Matty Smith, and they absolutely ran that performance today. They was outstanding to score that many points against a team what's been handpicked from all around the world. I thought it was an outstanding performance, that.
And the crowd loved Joel Tompkins coming on. It was a fantastic moment.
He looked big, he looked athletic. I was really impressed with how he went, and you know, the great work what our medical staff have done with him. You know, they've been outstanding, and you know, he's going to be a real good asset to us going forward.
Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Thank you, Shan. Thanks, Sean.
No doubt Sean Wayne delighted to have Joel Tompkins in his squad. No doubt delighted with that performance. He did say after the defeat to the Bradford Bulls, that 16-8 defeat, I don't expect to see a performance like that again. Well, he certainly hasn't tonight. His players have said it's the angriest they've ever heard him in the build-up to this game. Well, it worked the treat, and that man Anthony Gelling giving Sean Wayne plenty to think about, starring in the centres and nabbing a hat-trick for himself. Full game analysis coming up after a short break.